Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of Uchu Sentai Kyuranger episode 19. So this was overall a pretty solid episode. Again, I just want to comment on how I am at least impressed that they've kept a bit of momentum going. This episode's kind of weird because it was like simultaneously, like it was a kind of a setup episode. It was kind of one of those like waypoint episodes where it wasn't like the resolution for anything, but it didn't necessarily feel completely like a part one or something like that. It was mainly after the Kyurangers. The Kyurangers going after this Kyutama that they need, and running into these people. And the only thing I really didn't like about the episode was the one girl who was like guarding the Kyutama, who was like kind of prominent in this episode. She was like the featured, you know, regular or like guest star of the week or whatever, because she was like the classic like tokusatsu cartoon trash character I hate. That's just like, it's not a real person. It's like just a bunch of shouting facial expressions and just like annoyingness. It's like if you put like everything that was annoying into a person, it's like these type of characters, and she had like weird teeth, and it was just, the whole thing just bothered me. It was like one of those things that just, it takes you out of the moment. It makes it sound like it's trying to be really serious, but I mean like it just kind of takes away your ability to be able to follow what they're doing with any level of seriousness, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not saying it like this is meant to be a really serious thing, but I just mean it kind of demeans what they're doing in a way. I don't know. It's a hard feeling to describe. But she was the only thing I really didn't like about the episode. Everything else was pretty solid. There was some pretty decent action in it. Like I said, I like that they have been continuing the story in a nice way, in terms of like, we didn't set up this quest and then like the next episode is a random filler that has absolutely nothing to do with it. So much so that like they don't even mention like the quest they're on, and it was just kind of nice to see that. Nice to see them interacting with some different people and stuff. We got a little bit of stuff going on with Stinger and Scorpio, with like him stealing the other Kyutama that they had on the base to sort of bait Scorpio, and stuff like that. So that was kind of nice to, again, it's actually kind of funny with that. I keep being surprised that they are picking that up so quickly again. Like, we've had these, I think, 2, maybe 3 situations now where the storyline kind of reached like a natural stop. Like, not like a full, like the story's over, but I mean like, oh, okay, this is the first part of this story, and that's the end. Just because, not the end. I'm having a hard time explaining myself today, but I mean like, you know, you'll get those stories where it's like, here's a story arc we have in Sentai, you got like 2 or 3 episodes to focus on it, and then it kind of reaches like, here's the end of part 1, and then we'll kind of move on for a bit, and then come back and revisit it, and we'll do that maybe 2 to 4 times throughout the series. And right now, like, I'm just surprised, in a way pleasantly, but also I wouldn't mind if we even shelved this, not for very much longer, but like this episode, and the next, or in the previous one, I wouldn't have minded if we had shelved it, I guess, just because it's because we're actually following another story right now, and they're not just meandering in filler land. It wouldn't be the worst thing. It's not something like I'm like, well, I think it really hurt it that they're doing the Scorpio story still. It's just, my main point is that like, if we were in filler land, I would be like, can we at least have a little Scorpio forward movement and Stinger stuff? But since we're actually doing a pretty solid job of following through with the plot we've presented, I feel like it would make a little bit more flow, I guess, if we took just a break from it for a second. I don't know. Again, it's kind of hard to describe. But we did get a little bit on that. I'm just kind of surprised we already started picking it up again. I would have expected maybe almost nothing these last 2, and then next week's would have picked up on it. We also saw, I think, I'm getting kind of confused because I know we saw Kotaro in the episode, I think, and then we definitely saw him in the preview, like talking on the TV or whatever to them. I'm like second guessing myself whether we saw him in the episode, but I'm fairly certain we did, because he's basically been reduced to that. Like, he's just kind of Skyped in a couple times, and I think I've mentioned before, at least twice, that I would love to see just an episode that takes place at the Academy. We might get something like that next week, because it looks like he's fully, I don't know if he'll be fully back, like he's returning to the ship after this next episode, but he's going to be suited up and stuff, so he'll be more prominent next week in the Stinger stuff. And I think we saw like a shot of Champ. So next week actually looks pretty interesting, sort of converging multiple storylines. So I'll be interested to see exactly how Kotaro fits into all that. Same thing with Champ. Are they going to rush it, and is Champ going to be fixed next week somehow? or is it just going to be kind of a progress check? And just to see, like, after whatever Kotaro does with Stinger's storyline, whether he returns to the ship the following week or the week after, or if he's still going to be away. So I don't know. I'm curious. It looks good. But overall, I don't have really a ton to specifically say about this episode. It was just kind of solid and mostly enjoyable, sans the really annoying girl, and just kind of kept things moving in a nice way. As overall, like I said, solid. I probably give episode a 7. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dawson Ryder, signing out.